Hello, I'm Ben Mankiewicz. Thanks for joining us on TCM for more of Day 3 of 31 Days of Oscar. Every movie we have is either an Oscar winner or nominee through March 15th, the night of the 98th Academy Awards. Tonight, Oscar goes bad with a lineup of crime movies. We begin with one of the best, from Warner Brothers in 1949, White Heat. James Cagney delivers perhaps his signature performance as Cody Jarrett. Cody is a killer, a gang leader, a menace to society. On the other hand, he does love his mom. Cody Jarrett is loosely based on a real criminal, Doc Barker, whose mother, the infamous Ma Barker, was also part of his gang. Director Raoul Walsh delivers a bona fide action classic replete with shootouts, holdups, and a prison break, plus rage and revenge, and largely without a wisp of regret. It all leads to one of the most unforgettable movie climaxes ever filmed. White Heat reunited Cagney with Walsh, a veteran director well known for his tough guy pictures. Walsh first directed Cagney in Warner's 1939 gangster drama, The Roaring Twenties. Cagney was already an Oscar winner when he made White Heat. He won for playing George M. Cohan in the 1942 Warner Brothers picture Yankee Doodle Dandy. Though White Heat is now considered a classic, the American Film Institute ranked Cody Jarrett as the 26th most memorable villain in movie history. The film received just one nomination. It went neither to Cagney nor Walsh, who was never nominated, by the way, went to Virginia Kellogg for Best Story. Cagney turned 50 in 1949, entering the twilight of his career as a leading man. White Heat marked his homecoming at Warner Brothers, the studio he helped make a powerhouse during the 1930s. Cagney had returned after 7 years struggling to get his own production company up and running. Many felt Cagney was robbed of a nomination for White Heat, including his co-star Virginia Mayo. It is hard to disagree. Cast here also includes Edmund O'Brien and Margaret Wycherley as Cagney's domineering Ma. Here it is, from 1949, Jimmy Cagney in White Heat. Virginia Kellogg had been writing in Hollywood for nearly 2 decades before she earned her first Oscar nomination for White Heat in the Best Story category. Kellogg's first writing credit came for an obscure 1931 drama, The Road to Reno. She followed that with a 1933 pre-code melodrama, Mary Stevens, M.D., about an out-of-wedlock pregnancy. Kellogg's showbiz career was patchy until she co-wrote the story for director Anthony Mann's 1947 crime drama, T-Men, which dealt with a counterfeiting racket. A year after her nomination for White Heat, Kellogg earned another nomination, this time for co-writing the story and screenplay for Caged, the 1950 Eleanor Parker drama set in a women's prison directed by John Cromwell. The New York Times reported at the time that Kellogg spent 2 months undercover at 4 different women's prisons, posing as an inmate, all to gather research for her screenplay. That's quite a story. Notably, Warner Brothers refused to release which prisons incarcerated her, nor where they were located, citing privacy concerns, all of which makes me wonder whether it ever happened. Now, that said, Kellogg was a former Los Angeles Times reporter, and she may well have had the connections to make her undercover incarceration happen. Anyway, it's definitely a good story. Investigative research factors into our next movie, coming up, a 1967 true crime drama based on a novel by Truman Capote. In Cold Blood is next on TCM.
Next on TCM, In Cold Blood, then Dog Day Afternoon, and later, Shaft. He's a bad Oscar winner tonight.